Guys, today I'm going to be installing some grip warmers on the Street Triple. They're not hand grips, they're actually the things that you wrap around. So my plan is to make the wires as seamless as possible. I'm hoping to utilize this this channel here where all the other wires go, and I'll have to figure out where I want to put them for the throttle side. And these go up underneath the tank, so I'm most likely going to have to remove the tank. So I just want to make it as clean as possible, and I'll walk through the entire the steps that I take, and hopefully that'll help you if you're going to install heated grips on your bike or anything else like a quad or something. So what I got for the job is the heated grips, of course. I bought some shrink wrap at my local Harbor Freight store. Got a bunch of stuff. I got a European style terminal block because I'm going to be hooking up a relay. I got a 30 amp relay also, and some wires. I got some more in my toolbox. I got a inline fuse, which I'm going to use. So that's pretty much it. So everything's going to be tied to the relay. So, and there's a lot of websites on how to do the relay, but I'll walk through everything. So the first thing that we'll want to do is take the grips off. So what I did was I took off the side piece here with a hex key, this little guy here, and then I will use some compressed air, shove a screwdriver through here or something and try to get these off. I don't think there's adhesive underneath, so we'll try that. Get the grips off, both of them. This is your plastic throttle tube, and then over here there's nothing, and there was no adhesive, so that's good. So the one thing that I might do over here is, since this is bars, it's just metal, I don't want heat escaping into the bar. So what I'm going to try to do is put some heat shrink, 1-inch heat shrink, on the tube there, and see if it's going to be too tight for the grip to go back on. And if it is, I'll just take it off. So I just wanted to see if I can retain some heat in the grip itself. And on the other side, it's just plastic, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, got the 1-inch heat shrink tubing on. It's actually not bad. It's not that much thicker, so I think I'm going to go with it. I mean, you can still use it, and you can pull it off a little bit, but it is sort of tight, so hopefully this will help. I'll trim this to make it a little bit cleaner looking. So hopefully there's not going to be that much heat loss into the bar. So heat shrink tubing. So yeah, this is what I use. I mean, it's big, but it does shrink a lot. So if you have any, definitely try it out if you're going to put it on a metal bar. Because this bar is cold right now, so hopefully this will help a little bit. So next we're going to unbox these things and install them on the grips. This is what they look like. One side for throttle, one side for clutch. And then you got nicely looking sheathing on here. I don't know if this is heat shrink or not, but it'll be easier to make it blend in a little bit more, however path I take. So as soon as I get these on, these are self-adhesive, so you'll wrap them like that. And I'll show you what that looks like. I loosened this piece here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out a little area here so I can pass this wire through here so it's nice and clean. I got the grip mounted 1/2 inch in from the end of the bar, and I wrapped it. So what's going to happen now is to get the grip back on, I'm going to heat it with a hairdryer to get it kind of pliable, and it should slip back on. You can use some compressed air to get it back on, and I'll show you what that looks like. See, the grip is back on. The end is on, but there's an issue. This is too loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back off. I'm going to slide this about 3/4 of the way off, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the bar itself, so when it dries it'll have a nice grip. It won't be turning like this. It's turning like this because I put the heat shrink tubing on, and it's too smooth, so it's slipping. So as far as adhesive, you can use JB Weld. A lot of people use wood glue, Gorilla Glue. So anything that I find, I'm going to probably use it. And I actually found some epoxy. So I mixed a little bit. I pulled this off. I spread it around the handle, the handlebar, and pushed it back on. So now it's going to set in 20 minutes and let it sit for 24 hours to fully cure, and then hopefully I'm not going to touch it. And by tomorrow should be nice and snug and not move anymore. So now I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I'm probably going to drill out a little hole here, and then the wire's going to come out over to the side. And I'm thinking about mounting this switch to this bolt here. I have to make a little bracket out of sheet metal or 1/8 inch plate. So I'll see what I do. So I got the other grip on finally, and I'm using more epoxy underneath this because it's a little bit too loose. So you can see I mounted the wire at about a 4 o'clock position. Then I'm going to run it underneath and follow some of the other wires here. Go in between the key underneath here and come up, and then the switch will be over here. So basically now, and also I got to still take that out. So now I'm going to prop the gas tank up because power and ground have to be routed to over here. So I'm going to run 2 wires from my distribution block, which is here, so power and ground. So power will probably, like the wire, will run underneath the tank and come up over here somewhere so I can have it all nice and flush. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then start wiring up over here the relay and all that stuff. Before I get too far, just wanted to show how I'm wiring this. So I got the distribution block, as you can see. Take this out a little bit. So this is basically how it's going to work. You have the negative on this side, positive on this side. This black wire is going to be going to the battery. This black wire is the ground on the relay. The red one is going to 30 on the relay and is going into positive on the block. And then I made little jumpers, which are these little wires, so it'll jump for positive. So on this side, I have 3 positive that I can feed out. So one will be for the grips, the second one can be for GPS or something like that. Same thing with the negative. So I have 2 that can go out for negative. So here, I tapped into the yellow wire that's going to the brake light. That's the ignition wire, 12-volt wire. Put a little tap on it, and I ran wire, and I wrapped electrical tape, and here's the wire coming down, and here it is here. I'm going to put a end on it, so that'll clip into the relay. And this is the numbers what the relay is for. So on the relay, number 87 goes to the battery, which is positive. 30 it goes to the block, which is over here. 85 is the inline power, which is that wire that I tapped. And 86 is the ground, which is... So as soon as I finish with this other stuff, I'm gonna still got to run wires up underneath the tank for the ground and power for the grips. And then it should be all set. Stay tuned.
So what I did was I ran them down through here, and I cut some of this wrap off, and I pulled it back, and I pulled the ground wires, and I separated them off, which are here. And then I separated the grip heater wires here. So everything is separate. So I'm putting heat shrink tubing on these two. I'm going to run it through here and then into the frame, and then I get another big long piece of heat shrink tubing with 2 wires for the ground and the power, and that'll come up through here, and then the power will just come up here into the switch. So everything is going to be all heat shrink tubing. Everything's going to match the other lines of the bike. So in reality, it's going to be a very clean install. This is the loop that I made for the grip here, so when you turn the throttle, it's not going to bind. And then you put like a little zip tie here so that you can pull this in and out if you need to adjust. So that's where it is right now. This is the hardest part, because if you want to be really meticulous like this and separating out the wires and stuff like that, then it's going to take some time. So see, like that wire there, I split it off, so you got the ground. So, I mean, I worked on this 4 hours yesterday, and this is how far I got. It's not because I don't know what I'm doing, it's just because I want everything to be, well, the way that I want. So I'm taking my time. The relay and everything is all hooked up. This is the relay. I taped it and shrink tubed it, and I put some tape on here so it won't move. The distro box is done. I soldered some ends for the ground and for the positive. I taped it all to the other wires here, so it's very, very clean looking install so far. So as soon as I get this wires done, I could pretty much lower the gas tank and start making the bracket for the heated grips. I'll show you what I did for the power and ground. So I did the whole wire that was shrink wrap tubing, and then it's fed under here. It comes out of here and goes up. It's zip tied currently to here, and then there's your 2 wires, and then your power for the switch. So this will all be tucked in nicely, and you won't even see it. And then we'll hook up all the power over here, and then build the bracket, and hook it up. The wires run, hooked up the positive to the positive, negative to the negative, put the tank down. I made this little bracket here. I'm gonna finish it off. I'm just testing it right now, test fitting it. I'll round off the edges and all that stuff, but you probably can't see, but it's really, really tight under here. I'm gonna put some more shrink tubing on this stuff, but the ends I put shrink tubing to the connectors, and the connectors are kind of sticking out a little bit, so I'm gonna either put another heat shrink tubing over this whole piece here, and then go back. But right now I'm gonna go hook up the battery and see if this stuff even works, because that would suck if it wouldn't. So that's it right now. So I'm pretty happy with the little bracket that I made.
It'll be powder coated black, so you'll barely notice it. So these things will be. Well, guys, pretty much finished up here. Everything. Everything's wired under the seat. Everything's cleaned up. So this is the final stuff on what I'm doing. Just making sure everything's tight and everything. Ran up the wires, and this is what the final connections are going to look like right here. This is the power, and this is for high and low. Everything is in shrink tube, so it looks kind of stock. So all I have to do is wire up to the switch, and then I'll show you my bracket. Here's the bracket. I'll put it on the concrete so you can see it a little bit better. That's the bracket. Powder coated black. Just a 1/8 inch steel plate. Drilled 2 holes. Rounded off the edges a little bit. So that'll go right here into this bolt here. And the switch will sit in there, and pretty much done. So I'll show you what it looks like when everything is hooked up. What she looks like with the bracket on and the switch on. So that's what it looks like. I think it came out okay. That's what it looks like from underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but it's all encased, so if any water gets on there, it's not going to touch any of the connectors. And then I'm just going to finish tidying this up and cut these, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, it did take me a very long time, actually, probably a day, but that's because I just took my time and made sure that everything was correct, and the grips don't move anymore, so that's good because I put epoxy on them. So everything came out good. Pretty happy. So any questions, let me know. Post them below, and I'll catch you around.